My name is Alex. I'm presenting here Startin'blox participation within the NGI Ontochain Open Call free program, better known in the program as the low-code app builder. I start by quickly presenting what Startin'blox is. So Startin'blox is an application builder. The way it works is that Startin'blox provides a set of components to its user so that they can build their application. We have, as of now, 25 components, interface components, that you can use and assemble to build an application. For instance, a menu, research feature, a map, forms, etc. That can be assembled to create an application that make use of those different features. And the specificity of those applications is that they are so-called interoperable, meaning that they can access data from each other. We also say that each application can access data from its data space or from several data spaces, given that the end user has the right permission to do so, of course. And so within the context of Ontochain, we were set to meet a set of challenges. The first one was to enable the different Ontochain services or the different Ontochain participants to create their own component and to register it within the app builder so that application builders could reuse those components or those components within their applications and therefore make use of the different Ontochain services. The second challenge we were set to meet was to provide an interface to the app builder, because so far we had no interface. We were mostly relying on the low code capacity of the app builder users. They were they had to use HTML in order to assemble the different components within an application. And so we were asked to provide a no-code interface so that you could create and parameter an application using only your mouse and your keyboard. And of course, to demonstrate that all this is working, meaning the component registration part as well as the application building and deployment. So let's start with registering your component to the app builder. So the first step, as explained in the GitHub link below, so I'll just visit it real quick so that you see. So online we have put all the documentation, so you can find it at this address, github.org/ontochain/low-code capital A app builder, where you can find all the documentation to do what I'm going to explain. So to get back to it, the first step is to authenticate yourself to the registration API. So for that, as explained in the documentation, give me just 1 second. As explained in the documentation, you need to collect a client ID and a client secret from us. So you need to send an email and you'll be provided with a client ID and a client secret. That you need to base 64 encode in order to get a string that will help you to get a basic token that will help you to authenticate yourself. So let's get started. So Benoit, our CTO, has provided me with a valid client ID and a valid client secret that I will base 64 encode to show you how it works. So this is the client ID that was given to me, and this is the client secret. What I do is that I join them via a semicolon, and I encode them in base64 via this website, base64encode.org, and I get as a result this base64 encoded string. So the first step, now that I have this string, is to query, this API. So api.ontochaindeployer.startingblox/token, and I pass the token I've just gotten as an authorization header, basic authorization header. So this is the value of the token I've just gotten. And if I send that request, I get back this access token from the token API. And this access token then allows me to query the component API by providing this time a bearer token with the value I've just gotten, and with a complex body of parameters. I won't go through them all, but I need to provide a friendly name for my component that I want to register to via builder. So in that case, it will be Ontochain Babelfish 2. A short description, so test component of Babelfish services listing, etc., etc. So I'm not going through them all. But again, all this can be found in the documentation. And if I submit this, I get back in return the specifications of my component that has been registered to via builder, and I can test that this is working by copying the link, of the return component into my browser. It seems I didn't copy properly. Still haven't copied properly, sorry. Yes, it should work. And I can see the specifications of my component that proves to me that my component is well registered to the builder. So now the next step will be to register an application and to embed that component within my application. So now that we have published our component to via builder, the idea will be to use the interface that we've built for via builder in order to create and deploy an application. So this is the URL at which we have deployed the interface of via builder. So let's access it. You'll need to create an account if you do not have one already. It happens that I do have one. So just log into that account and I land on that page. There is only one data space available. Again, I'm kind of ignoring the concept of data space for that presentation, but I know that you need to choose the Ontochain data space. Then I'm asked for the name of my application. So let's say Alex's Kingdom number 3. Since it's Alex's Kingdom, I'll find a photo of myself. Yes, very good picture. And it's Alex Kingdom 3. Boom. Then I'm asked to choose the components. You can see here the Babelfish component that we've registered before, as well as 2 other components. When I select the component, I'm asked a set of parameters that come with this component. So for instance, in the members directory, how many profiles do we display per page? So let's say 50, just for the sake of this demonstration. Let's click deploy. So I get kind of a summary of what my app is going to be, at which URL is going to be deployed, which components are embed within the application. And if I hit deploy, which I do, the deployment process starts, and what's going to happen is that I'll receive an email when the deployment is done, and I'll be able to access and start playing with my application. So I'll pause for a minute just so that the deployment completes, and when it's completed and I receive the email, I'll resume the video again. So the email telling me that my application has been successfully created has arrived. I can do is that I can copy the URL of this app and access it in my browser. And as you can see, so you can see the two components that I had emmed within my app, the directory of members, where you find the different members of the Ontochain community, as well as the Babelfish component listing the different services present in the Ontochain ecosystem. That's it for now. So thank you for having attended this demonstration of the low-code app builder, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have one. Thank you. Have a great day.